Surprise, surprise, surprise. I'm back with a Medford video. Yes, I am as shocked as you all are. All right, what I have here today is the T-bone. One thing I do like is this foam case. It's not just a zipper pouch with like felt inside or something. It's closed cell foam, I'm guessing, inside of the zippered pouch, which is just kind of a cool thing. Okay. That part I do like. And the knife fits in there fine. Like, okay, great. My buddy Cliff sent this to me. I debated on doing a video. Alex kind of told me I should because, as he reminded me, you want to show all the knives. So I'm going to talk about this for a few minutes. This is going to be Cliff's St. Patrick's Day carry knife. It's the T-bone model, as I mentioned, and that's because Greg created a steak knife. A very expensive steak knife for you to carry when you go to the steakhouse. Okay, in this configuration off of the MKT website right now, it's $610. And for $610, you get a flipping steak knife that doesn't flip. You have to give it some wrist. You have to help it along. I'm sorry, that's just dumb. It's on bearings. So he shouldn't have to break in as most Medfords do, and that's the story that everybody tells you. Oh, you got to just open it 1,000 million times and it'll break in, which is true on the washer knives because they make them real tight because they want them to loosen up but not be loose. So for the first, months that you have it, you have to struggle with your knife. Okay, so this one, it doesn't flip. Okay, fine. Aluminum scales, or titanium scales, sorry. Black inlays, G10 inlays, and black hardware. You can configure, what is kind of cool is you can configure this in any color combinations that you want, with or without inlays. You can pick the hardware, the screws, all of that stuff. That's pretty cool. It's 4 5/8 closed, 8 5/8 overall, with a 3.98 inch blade. S45VN weighs in at 3.7 ounces. Runs on bearings. It's pretty thin. For a steak knife, okay, this is going to work really well. You can get it in the Tonto version that Cliff ordered or the drop point version. Okay. Some interesting things. He went with the little top hat on the logo because this is supposed to be for you fancy gents out for your steak dinners. I don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't understand the design intent necessarily to come up with a folding steak knife. The only time we're really I go out to eat a lot. 9 out of 10, 99 out of 100 times, I just use the knife that they bring me. Because usually, unless I am at a knife show or I am with my knife buddies, then we pull out our pocket knives so we can cut our steak, so we can take some pictures. Normal setting, if I'm out to dinner, a nice dinner with my girlfriend, and I pulled out my knife to cut something, she would look at me funny. Because the restaurant has given me a knife. And it works generally fine most of the time. Would my knife work better than the restaurant's knife? Guarantee 100%. Is it worth drawing attention to myself? No, it's not. There's a couple of size comparisons real quick. I do have a Medford playlist if you want to go and look at that. I do have a bunch of Medfords. For a while, I did a ton. Here's the Kubi KB237. This is how a knife should flip. Every time, without fail, even with the lightest of pressure. It really doesn't matter. And I can have my hand completely solid on the table, and it's going to flip every time. Now, this one might break in better. Oh, that one almost did, but I had to give it a big wind up and smack it. Somebody made a comment in the Medford group when I was talking about it doesn't flip. They're like, oh, if it's on bearings, you got to loosen the pivot and then it'll flip. I'm sorry. For $610 plus shipping and tax and everything else? No, I shouldn't have to adjust my knife to make it work properly. Yes, it flips when you give it some rest and it locks up solid and the knife is solid and it is centered and all of that. Sure, but it doesn't flip. I don't know. There you go. A quick little discussion about the MKT T-Bone.